So we are starting with the wayfinding project. And we have the wayfinding team that is going to kick things off.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
All right, cool. So this is the Downtown Staten Island Wayfinding and Signage Project by Matthew Zachenyuk, assisted by Brianni Estevez, and joined by Mark Joseph. So here I will just present a couple things. So for the introduction, what is the Wayfinding and Signage Project and what are the aims of it? What are the objectives and tasks? What are some of the case studies we did, possible solutions, and next steps?
Oh, and one more quick thing. Executive Superintendent Watts, we also have a representative from the Staten Island Borough President's Office here who's been instrumental in this project. So, Colleen, if you can oh, your camera's off, that's right. But we have a representative from their office here as well. Okay, Matthew, I'm sorry. Take it away again.
No problem, no problem. So, in short, the Downtown Wayfinding and Signage Project was created in order to help visitors traverse the area of downtown Staten Island. There are currently few navigational aids in the area, and many get lost in the chaos of lights and people when beginning their adventure through the downtown area. For the site analysis, we found many problems with the area that are very, that impact the entire, that impact the towns in the area very dramatically. So the problems include ferry terminal is uninviting and does not support traveler visitation, and has minimal to no wayfinding at the terminal or the surrounding area for new visitors. And what are the effects of these problems? Travelers feel drawn away from the area because of the lack of wayfinding, and less travelers means less activity in the surrounding neighborhoods, which also impacts the local economy. And here's the current experience. Understanding the community's frustrations with the current situation was vital for knowing how we could effectively fix this issue. So experiencing the frustrations for myself was necessary to get closer to this goal. The adventure starts right after the departure from the ferry. When you step off the boat, you are greeted with a long hallway with minimal directions. On the right, you can see pictures of the hallway inside the ferry terminal, and the map exactly where you are when you first start off the adventure. Continuing down on the left side, in the long hallway, there are many exits with hard to see signage and limited maps to see possible areas or points of interest. On the right side, one way to exit is towards the right side of the hallway, where you are greeted with a beautiful view of the water. You might not know it, but this is the start of the North Shore Waterfront Esplanade Park and the entrance to Empire Outlets. On the top, here's a different view of the concrete structure that overlooks the water on the right side of the hallway. If you choose to take a left in the hallway, you will be staged on a massive concrete promenade built for buses and cars to pick up arrivals. This promenade closely mimics the look and feel of an airport terminal. On the left side is a different angle of the promenade. It shows the long and blank platform on which new travelers must decide what to do next in order to get further into the city. On the right side, you can see the main street on which the promenade exits to. This is Bay Street, the main street that connects St. George and Stapleton, as well as providing direct access to Victory Boulevard, which connects St. George to Tompkinsville. And lastly, here's another angle to see Bay Street. This angle faces the promenade and shows the confusing street and limited signage. Well, what can we do? Well, for one, we can increase the number of signs in the area to keep people on a straight, consistent path. We can make signs more visible and easy to understand for pedestrians is second nature. And creating a cohesive theme for the downtown area, taking advantage of the logo and brand already present. Here are the tasks. Modify ferry terminal signage to make signs easier to see and read for visitors. Modify ferry terminal promenade markers to make signs easier to see and read for visitors. Modify Staten Island railway station signage to make sure visitors can see where the SIR is located and help guide them. Create branded district-wide signage. Make blade-style signage that helps guide people. Promote downtown branding by making downtown Staten Island feel like its own using branding themes. Increase competitiveness by creating a bigger draw towards the area to help promote spending and tourism with the tasks above. Here are some solution objectives. Modify ferry terminal signage by creating signage more specific and helpful to visitors and promoting the downtown brand. Modify ferry terminal promenade markers by incorporating signage to differentiate the pickup area from the pedestrian exit. Modify Staten Island railway station signage by including more cohesive and easy to follow signage for the SIR and its existing stations in the area. Create branded district-wide signage by instituting a stylized and cohesive signage chain and providing clear directions around the areas. Promote downtown branding by promoting a smart and simple brand and creating a sense of completion and understanding in the community and to its visitors. And increase competitiveness by creating stylized and expressive blade signs and increase competitiveness and boost the local economy. Here are some of the case studies. During my president's studies, I wanted to look for projects and designs that reflected my project, but also allowed me to think outside the box and come up with ideas that would help me create an impactful brand. While looking at the different signage, I stumbled across the website downtownsI.com. There, I was able to find branding that was already present on the website and try to institute it on the signage that we were trying to create here. Some of the elements on the left side you can see the elements here, which are bold, bright, simple, compact, and easy to look at. I felt as though these elements were a key aspect in creating effective signage, and I wanted to include these in the blade signs that we are making currently. By incorporating the style and feel of the current brand into blade signs and related signage, we can support local businesses and lead visitors to discover new places while keeping a consistent and fluid brand through the towns. Here are some of the businesses and locations for blade signage. And here is the start of my case study. While I was looking for case studies, I stumbled upon a group called Monitours, which is a French-based company creating wayfinding and signage. They did a project for the Merck Group for outdoor and wayfinding. This project inspired me to create a common shape and style to reflect the project and the brand. The design and content of the signage are consistent with the Merck brand principles. On the bottom, you can see the different colors and shapes for the different types of signage that are posted throughout the area. So yellow would be for identification, green would be for direction, and blue would be for information. I felt as though these were very important aspects to include in the signage because you can easily differentiate the different types of signage and make it easier for people to see and find out where to go next. On the right side, you can see the different signs being used in day-to-day life. Another project that I found interesting was by the same group which they did a project for Karlsruhe, Köln. They created wayfinding and orientation systems in this area, which is a town in Germany. I like this project because it uses color coding, just like Monitor's previous projects, and they created simple designs that are informational while seamlessly blending with the surrounding architecture of the area. So just to elaborate on that, I picked this project because I felt as though the signs were super neat and interesting, but they didn't really appear out of shape with the entire area. And this is something that we are trying hard to recreate with our project to make it to make effective signage, but signage that doesn't take away from the overall area. On the bottom, you can see the different types of signage that monitors made, such as kiosks and different blade signs, as well as posters. Now, why is this important? Using the existing colors already present for the different areas of downtown Staten Island, I felt as though this would be very important as to continue with the current brand. Taking advantage of those colors and using them in the branding would create a sense of harmony and understanding. So for example, on the website, you can see the different colors. For example, St. George blue, Tompkinsville would be yellow, and Stapleton would be green. And I thought this was very interesting because you can easily differentiate the areas, excuse me, by creating different colored signage and using them in those specified respective areas. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and there's more to come in the following presentations. Thank you so much.
Ted, you did a phenomenal job. Yeah, exactly. Does anyone have any questions for this first amazing group, the wayfinding group? Any questions? I know, Colleen, you know, the Staten Island projects are sort of, you know, your area. I know you've seen the progress over the last 7-ish months. So curious about any comments you have in particular.
No, I really, I think it's well thought out. I think I said this last time, but I appreciate the fact that this group took into account the branding that's already there. So they're really, and Matthew, the fact that you have photos of Lily as soon as you get off the ferry and going into another, you know, going into the depths of the Staten Island Bay Street, because it is very difficult to navigate. Which is why when I brought this project to Heather, I was very curious to see what you guys would come up with, and I don't really have any comments. I just thought it was so well thought out. So thank you for that.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Great job, great team. Okay, next we have the vacant lot. Vacant lot, friends, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, I see a few of my team members are here. Not all of us, but a few of us, so that's good.
Okay, that's good. Makai, you're going to bring this home. I'm feeling good about it.
Okay, I guess I'll be the one presenting. Just 1 second.
You got this, Makai. You got this. Okay, so we will have Makai Brown presenting on the vacant lot. This is also a Staten Island project. And just so you know the order, we're going to do vacant lot, then we're going to do Richmond Terrace Esplanade, then information kiosk at Snug Harbor, Tompkinsville Esplanade, and then if we still have time, Lake Como. And Lake Como will either be part of this or part of the 5 o'clock session. So Dr. Weber, I don't want you to think that we forgot about you. But I hope you're finding these other presentations interesting. Okay, good. But one more thing, Dr. Weber, like some of these presentations have some aspects to them that I think could be interesting for Lake Como. So, you know, something to keep in mind, okay? Okay, Makai Brown, you're up.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen right now.
Okay, great.
Just let me know when you see it, please.
We will let you know. We promise.
Okay.
Okay, we see it.
Okay, good. All right. So, hello, everyone. My
Hi.
name is Makai Brown, and I am the project manager for the vacant lot beautification at Mariners Harbor in Staten Island. Today, my partners Justin Hunter, Jordan Lewis, and Sonia Gonzalez will be helping me present the work that we've been doing for the past few months. So,
Great.
you can see our goal is to incorporate a new community-based program or just something that will bring the community together. So for the vacant lot in the Mariners Harbor, just to reinforce the community as a whole. And so here's some history that we found during our research. The neighborhood is named after the bounty of oysters and other seafood that were harvested. The community's diverse and rich in maritime history and was filled with prominent shipping and dry dock companies in the early 1900s. Mariners Harbor is also known for its stately waterfront homes built in the early 19th century by sea captains who wanted to live near the water. It was called Captain's Row. Some charming old homes still stand along streets like South Avenue and Merceria Avenue. These are some of the racial, gender, and age demographics. So as you can see, it is, for the most part, a pretty diverse neighborhood in multiple aspects. So when presenting, we wanted to give our viewers more than one option on how to get there from various places. So some nearby bus stops being that is in Staten Island is the S48, the S98, the SIM30, and a few and an abundance of other bus stops that are local. If you don't want to take the bus, you can always drive or walk. You can drive from some key bridges such as the Verrazano Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge, and the Bayonne Bridge, along with a few others. And if you want to walk, some local parks are the Mariners Harbor Playground and the Richmond Terrace Park, and a few others. What my team and I decided to do was we decided to research some precedent studies that would help us broaden our perspective on garden areas and garden layouts, as we also feel that this will help us when we begin our design process, which we have already began. So this first one is actually located here in Brooklyn, New York. It's called the Good Life Garden. It offers arts, culture, and education programming and addresses the socioeconomic needs of the community. And it was organized and maintained by a group of 10 neighbors. As you can see in this precedent study, this team incorporates the use of flower beds, which is something that my team and I have been very adamant on so far about our design. We really like the idea of flower beds, and this is one of the reasons why we chose this precedent study, along with its location being so close to Brooklyn. You know, our school is located in Brooklyn. This is another flower garden, or another garden in New York City. It is, and also another one also in Brooklyn, New York. As you can see, this one is more in I guess busy area of New York, as it's located in between two very busy buildings. But what stood out to my team and I was the walkway, the usage of the walkway. I'm going to try to zoom in here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but as you can see, the walkway is surrounded by lots of greenery, bunch of different trees and bushes, and it's also very spacious. Now, this precedent study is actually out of the country. It's in Kuwait. It's a community garden. It was designed by an architect named Mohammed Mubarak. With this president study, well, the reason that my team and I chose this president study was because its various design elements. However, despite its um, diverse use of design elements, it doesn't overshadow the actual purpose of this area, which is the garden. So the greenery and the flowers and other plants are still an integral part of this, and it can be seen. So the design aspect doesn't take away from the natural aspect. And also this one as well has walkways, but in this case it's multiple walkways that take on different angles, different shapes, different sizes, while all still being very spacious. The same thing can be said about this one with the walkways, and how the walkway is also surrounded by a lot of greenery, and the green aesthetic and the nature aesthetic isn't taken away. This is a president study that my partner Justin Hunter did. Justin, if you want to jump in, you
Hello,
can.
that's me. I'm Justin Hunter. Nice to meet you. Thanks.
Hi, Justin.
So for this president study, I was looking back into how I came up with the food court proposal for our design. And the first thing that came to mind was the Smorgasburg. It's an open air food market that is located in Williamsburg and many other locations. They even just opened one in New Jersey, opening May 29th. I look to Smorgasburg as one of the most successful food markets there is in New York City because of how they handle their vendor to customer ratio, how they plan around the amount of vendors they have to provide unique and very special kinds of cuisines to its patrons. I use this precedent study to look back into our design and to try to adapt how they execute their seating arrangements and their vendor placements for our vacant lot, as we have a very small area and space to work with. And the people at Smorgasburg have worked at very small locations, like in Williamsburg, and we felt that it was a great way to see how it's done in real life.
I'm Sonia. This study is based on Olmsted, which is a restaurant located in Brooklyn, New York. And as I was researching, this restaurant actually stood out to me because it's a very small space, almost similar to the lot. And what I thought we can incorporate with our idea would be having people sit around the supply, because they do grow their supply in the back, and people are also able to eat around there and just relax around there. And also having people being able to attend at nighttime and just be able to talk and sit around the crops is really relaxing with the lights.
So these are just a few systems necessities that my team and I felt were clearly necessary when you want to have a garden. So the first system that we felt was that we know is crucial is a water system for the plants. We wanted to use this water system, as you can see within these images. They're pretty small, narrow, and they lay on top of the flower beds that we want to incorporate. The reason we chose this was to be, I guess, more design conscious. We didn't want the visitors, the pedestrians who visit the garden to be walking or stepping over or stepping on hoses and another water system, and this can cause a lot of discomfort for them, and it could just mess everything up within the flower garden. So we felt that this was a much better option, and it also gives the garden a lot more spacious look. We also have this composting system here, as you can see, as this will also help us with the flower garden and it remaining effective. When coming up with our design proposal for a flower garden, these are some of the factors that we took into consideration for the local residents, as because this vacant lot is surrounded by various homes. So we want to make sure how our design would affect the residents. We took in mind how will the noise, foot traffic, and public interactions impact the residents' lifestyle. The safety, how will people's activities within this lot play a part into the safety of the community, and the community itself. How will the COVID-19 pandemic that we're in right now, impact the public space? What does the community already have in need? That is another reason why we really put an emphasis on our spacious design, because of COVID regulations and restrictions. We want to make sure that people can still be safe while enjoying their time at this flower garden. This part was done by my partner Ryan Singh, who isn't here with us right now. But as you can see, he created an AutoCAD drawing of the vacant lot and its surrounding area. This green section represents the vacant lot. As you can see, it isn't too big, but It's more than enough space to work with. Here are some bubble diagrams that my team and I worked on. This was a more general, broader idea of what this space could look like. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. But then we have an alternative idea where we make the design a little bit more intricate and complex, and we allow for us to have more garden space to allow more variety within the plants. Here's some floor planner designs created by my partner Diamond Jefferson.
Great job, Diamond. Great job.
We have some more right here from different angles and more 3D in a more 3D version. So you can see the flower beds, the narrow walkway. You can even see some picnic benches over here for the food market when people want to enjoy their food. And you can see the variety of plants, the different trees, everything else. Here's another look. So this is another crucial aspect, the community outreach. Our very own Miss Heather Butts. Thank you once again. Thank you. Her nonprofit organization, Health for Youths, along with with Assemblyman Charles Fall, made great strides in maintaining the lot. You can learn more about this community outreach on the Health for Youths Instagram page. Once again, thank you, Ms. Butts.
You're very welcome. I'm very proud.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, great. Again, any questions from Executive Superintendent Watts, Dr. Weber? I see we have John Gibbons here. Colleen, any questions from any of you regarding this vacant lot presentation? I have a question, but I'll wait.
I do have one.
I have a question. I just have a comment. I'm being blown away by the scholars on the line and the quality of these presentations. I cannot believe the amount of research you guys have done and what you've put together. Your creativity is amazing. You're all amazing. So I just want to say that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Executive Superintendent Watts. And of course, it's amazing to have you here. So we want to thank you for your support. Whenever we reach out to you to be part of these projects, you are always here and always engaged. And so it's fabulous to actually have you here. So we just want to thank you for being one of our best supporters, to be honest with you.
You know, the reason for it is that I believe in real world learning, right?
Yeah.
You know, as teachers over the years, we've always been asked to incorporate real world learning into our classes and so on. And we attempted to do that by bringing in, you know, questions for students to answer in our classes that might have a real world, that could be from the real world. But what I call real world is when students work on problems, either in their schools, in their communities. They come up with solutions that then get implemented, right? By, we have someone from the borough office, Colleen, from Staten Island. So you have the ability to go back and say, okay, now we've seen the solutions, let's help these students, you know, let's help implement these plans into the vacant lot or and so on. So I think that's the best form of learning, where students can see that all of their efforts that they're putting forth in the learning process is leading to something real that can improve the lives of others and themselves in their communities. So thank you, Heather, for bringing these opportunities, because you've been doing it for a long time in many different forms. And I really, every time I listen to one of these presentations, I'm totally blown away by what our young people can do. They're the ones that have the solutions to all of the problems out in our society.
And, you know, Executive Superintendent Watts, I just want to say to you, in terms of real, it doesn't get any more real than the vacant lot. The vacant lot is called a vacant lot for a reason, because it's, wait for it, vacant. There's nothing there. So as will the ideas of the students be implemented, 100%, because there's nothing there. And this is an area, Colin, you know where the vacant lot is. It's in Mariners Harbor. It's not too far from Home Depot. You know, until Assemblyman Fall got in there and got rid at least of all of the foliage and all the overgrowth, it wasn't even safe. So it was, you know, it came to the attention of the Assemblyman because one of the neighbors was crossing through the vacant lot to get to her house, and she was chased by some man. And she was like, I don't want to be living near a vacant lot where I'm being chased by people. So this lot has nothing there right now. Some, if not the majority of the ideas that these students are putting into place will become part of this vacant lot. It needs something there. It's crying out for something. And so when you think about real, I don't think anything can get more real than creating something in a place that has nothing to create a safer space for families in an area of Staten Island that desperately needs this kind of addition to the community. So that's about as real as you can get, I would say.
Thank you. I see Principal Cornell. Good afternoon.
Hey, Superintendent. Executive.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be in your school.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Executive Superintendent Watts actually supported this program going back to 2009, I think. So
yeah.
But I just wanted to point out really two things about these projects that have been happening with Heather and the Makerspace program. Number one, this has been really important to us for the past year, and I just want to thank everybody here, the partners, Colleen, you and Heather in particular, for creating a bridge in the gap that we've had in the educational process because of COVID. You know, kids missed a lot of time. They've missed the access to our equipment and studios at school. And I think projects like this have really kept them connected with what they're studying and basically the real world and what they need to do. The other thing is I think it's really cool, and this goes with every project that we've been doing outside of Brooklyn, basically, and all these changes, starting with the Lake Como project and with these projects that we're doing. Our kids are going to have at some point the opportunity to potentially go visit places that they designed. So as adults, drive past it and say, well, we had something to do with that. So I just want to congratulate everybody for that.
Yeah. And I'm really pleased that we have our Lake Como contingency here because, you know, this kind of project, you know, at least when I was involved, really took place. You know, its inception was in Lake Como. And I think we were all kind of intrigued as to whether or not we could replicate a project like this in a place like Staten Island and also during the midst of COVID. And I would say that to the extent that these projects have been able to survive and really thrive online in a real way by students who have really given it their all, then, you know, I want to say that, you know, thank you to our Lake Como friends. And then also, you know, being able to take this to an online platform where we've been able to make a difference in these projects has been very gratifying. So,
and, you know, our kids have done this without actually doing site visits.
Yeah.
They've never physically been at these sites yet, which is
yeah, they will be. They'll get there. So, okay.
Heather, I do have one question for this group.
Yes, go for it, Carla, please.
So whoever wants to jump in, I just want to know what the capacity of the lot will be. So you have all these things going on. So how many people do you think can fit safely in this lot at one time?
Hello. Well, as far as the capacity, my team and I haven't really discussed that yet just because I don't know if that's really in our control.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who's in charge of that, but I'm not sure if it would be us.
Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just something to think about. And this goes for all the projects. I just want to, oftentimes, and I'm sure a lot of the staff or representatives here will understand, with the city and things that go on, a maintenance plan is always good to have as a backup. Now, while I know the groups are tasked with designing, it would always be good to know, like, who might take over, to start building relationships with people. Again, I know you're really more of the design, but it's always good to have that in the back of your mind. Like what is the sustainability plan for your, whatever project you're working on? So again, I know, and I agree with you, I know that's not in your scope, but just something you might want to think about for the final presentations.
Well, and I think, Colin, your point is well taken, because of all the projects, I would say the vacant lot is the one that has the least. I mean, even my, the Skyline, the Health for Youth Skyline Gardens got something. The vacant lot is nothing. So to the extent that we start thinking about those issues, I think that's going to lead to the success or failure of what eventually ends up being at the vacant lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just have to say, I love the concept, all the different, I don't even know what you call them, like the models, I guess, the virtual models of these spaces. I do have to say, I do have a favorite. I do like the walkway from, the entrance exit, the one that goes kind of right through. I think that will be the best, the best open air concept. Yeah, that one. The one that kind of just goes straight through and you have things on the sides. I think that is very clean. And I think for the community, for the area, I think it'll just be helpful to be as simple as possible. But that's my only comment, and I'm done now. Thank you. This is great.
Thank you.
All right, great job, vacant lot. All right, the next group we have is Richmond Terrace Esplanade. Kevin Hernandez, are you here? I saw you before. Kevin Hernandez? Kevin Hernandez? Are you here? All right. Richmond Terrace Esplanade, I'm going to hold on you for a second, and we're going to go to the information kiosk, okay? So we're going to go to information kiosk. Information kiosk, are you here?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, great. So do you want to share your screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So first, we're gonna present our mural board. All right. So after we finished like the researching phase, the basic researching, we just started like thinking of a design phase. So here we got our team members design proposal for how the kiosk exterior and interior will look. Then then one of our team member came up with this, which I found really nice.
I would like to add on, sorry to cut you off your thing. So the first picture with the drawing of the kiosk that shows the front view and the back view, that was a kiosk that I designed. Specifically, I wanted the kiosk to be very simple of a design and show its function as a kiosk. We also have a design of another kiosk that was created by Raimundo Gomez. He also hopped on a project with us to help us out with coming up with other designs.
I've designed sketches that's on the right side, and I was planning to make Kiosk.
By the way, remember he drew these. He drew all of these himself.
Yeah, I drew the sketches that's on the right side. Only the right side. I didn't do the left side. So in my sketches, I'm trying to get like people's attention because the kiosk, the old one looks like boring, doesn't catch the people's attention. So I'm trying to form an idea of catching people's attention with good quality. So it can be welcoming for the people. And for the kiosk, the purpose of it is to greet people, right? So it must be looking nice so it can be good for them. So they can greet them and give them the information that they need.
Heather, do you mind if I stop the group real quick? I had a question while we're on this slide.
Yeah, of course.
Raimundo, if you're still there, would you mind explaining the entrances and the exits of your design?
Oh,
Point it out for me, please.
as you can see, this will be like the entrance. No, this will be the entrance where people will go and talk to them. And for the employees, they would go to here, like in this door, so they can enter and go out. And here,
okay.
as you can wait, what were you going to say?
No. So that's the front. That's where they would greet the visitors. And
Yeah.
then what are you pointing to now? The one on top?
On the top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, here will be where they would greet people, and on the other side, right here, will be the entrance of the door.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
Yeah. And
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, here's the entrance where they greet people, and here, yeah, again the entrance where they greet people, and this is where they greet people as well.
Okay. Wonderful. Sorry to stop. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. And then after like all these design proposal, we basically chose the basics of like the foundation of Raimundo's, and then we just implement it into AutoCAD. So let me switch to AutoCAD real quick. All right. So basically, on the right side for the interior elevations was worked on by my group member David. So he's basically like responsible for like how it will look inside with like all the items that was asked for and items that we think that the space should need. Then here's the basic program.
Oh, you have a mini fridge in there?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
You never know, that employee might be hungry.
I love it. I got no problem with the mini fridge whatsoever.
And then here's the exterior of the kiosk. The hatched area is basically the inside. And then everything else is just the outside. And then here's the kiosk itself. And then to show the location. Yeah. So this side will be facing the street and a gazebo path. And then the door would be like around this side. And pretty much that's it. So currently what we will work on next is like the materials wise, like what materials we'll use for each part of the kiosk, and then the cost of it.
All right, beautiful. Anybody have any questions for the information kiosk, which they've worked, by the way, Susanna Body has been working extremely closely with this group. And they're, again, another group that from where they came from to where they are now, a huge leap in the work that they've done. So they are to be commended. Any comments for this group? Okay. All right, great job, information kiosk. We're gonna move on to the Tompkinsville. We're gonna do Tompkinsville, Esplanade, and then Lake Como. Tompkinsville, Esplanade. Anybody here from Tompkinsville, Esplanade? Tompkinsville, Esplanade? Okay, here, let's do this. Okay. Oh, great to see you, Soraya. Nice to see you. Oh, no, is that Raven? Raven, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here also.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So are the two of you going to be doing Tompkinsville?
Well, I see that Lawrence is here also, but
okay,
that's the only other person that I see from our team that's here currently.
Okay, you guys got this. Whether you have one person from your team or 20, whoever is here, you can do this, okay? So who wants to lead? Do you want to lead, maybe? Does Lawrence want to lead? Lawrence, do you want to share your screen and take the lead?
Can Raven speak?
Sure.
At least was your part of the project, the photo
Okay.
classroom.
Yep. Raven, do you want to
Okay.
leave?
But
Yeah. All right.
actually, I'll start. I'll start off. No, actually, no. Raven, yeah, Raven.
Okay,
Oh,
Raven, why don't you share your screen
okay.
and then you can get going.
Okay.
And I'm just making one more final check for Richmond, Terrace, Esplanade. I don't think they're here. So if not, we're going to go right into Lake Como after the Tompkinsville presentation. So Raven, you're up. Oh, Richard Hernandez. Okay. All right. Raven, you're up.
All right. Just give me one quick moment.
And Raymond, if you need a little bit of time, Richmond Terrace Esplanade is here, so I can have them go first. Oh, no, you're going. Okay, good. You're good.
Sorry. Yeah. I just had to pull it up.
Okay.
But this is our board.
Very organized, as we've all talked about. So just, Raven, can I just give 2 seconds about mural boards?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So the mural board is the way that the students have been organizing their, more so organizing their information. The groups range anywhere from a few students to upwards of 8 to 10. And so having a manner by which they can organize their information is kind of key. The analogy I used the other day, and I think it was one Matthew liked, was it's like a refrigerator, right? So if you have a refrigerator in your house and you keep it any old kind of a way, that's, I guess, okay if it's just you living in the house. But if you have 5 other people living in your house and you have a refrigerator that's completely chaotic, well, how are people going to find the milk, the eggs, the steak, the Matthew, right? You gave me kudos for this. So it's similar, right? Having a less than organized mural board could be helpful for you, but if you're working with a lot of other people, it can be challenging to be able for everybody else to find what they need. So as a class, we noted that the Tompkinsville group had an exceptionally well-organized mural board that seemed to not only work very well for them, but that they were also able to actually find the information that they needed to be able to input it into their presentation. So Raven, does that about sum up your mural board?
Yes, it really does.
Okay.
But I just wanted to, zoom in on some of the stuff that we have and speak about, my part in the project also.
Okay. Oh, great. And we have Julian Meltzer from EDC is here. And so great. I'm glad you're here. You'll see the progress of the students in the last presentation. So, okay.
Great. Hi, everyone.
Hi, nice to have you here. It's great to see you again.
Thanks. I have to jump off in like 10 minutes, but
That's perfect because
okay.
they have exactly 10 minutes to do this.
Okay.
So winning. Okay.
So basically, this is really the overview of the board. So this is just a part. And our task manager right here. If you guys go see that.
And Raven, since your stakeholder has a limited amount of time, maybe it makes sense for you guys to quickly run through your presentation just so they can get a sense of where you have come since the last time you presented.
Well, that wasn't really like completed because that's why we wanted to show the mural board because we were updating that more.
Okay, go for it. Yep.
Yeah, no worries. Just happy
No,
to hear any questions or see this cool resource. I don't know about Miro, so it's an interesting, a new tool to learn about on my end.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is just our topic researches and being like new to the project, it's not really like much that I do know, but I know that this is their topic research and just the existing conditions of the Esplanade currently. If you can see that over the pink. But yeah. And this, oh, sorry. This is the bike map and just other things that we wanted to incorporate into the Esplanade also. So that's my bathroom project also, and just other ideas that they were thinking about. So, and one of the other new members along, which is Lawrence also, I know that he made this diagram if he wants to, if Lawrence, if you want to talk about it a little bit.
Okay. I'll share my screen.
Okay, all right.
It's a very nice graphic, really cleaned up a lot in terms of your programmatic information.
Yep, they've done quite a bit of work. Lawrence, are you sharing your mirror board or are you sharing your PowerPoint? What are you sharing? Okay, you're sharing your mirror board. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, it just took me off of the Google Meet for some reason. But so yeah, as she said, this is our mirror board, and what I was working on here. So last time the feedback was that we wanted a better visual as to where everything is. So this was what we had before, and it was, it has all the key, it has a key at the bottom, but I just made this in Google Slides to show where everything is in a much neater or much neater fashion. And um, so yeah, we're still debating on the where the restroom is going to be. Actually, right here, we have a little slide. We have a little slide, and this slide, the restroom is over there. We have multiple spots where we can put it, or we're debating to put it, but yeah, you can see all those spots. Okay, so that's one thing. Yeah, I did a little bit of history, and Raven added on another paragraph over here. So I believe we had this at the beginning, or we were given this information, the site history, but I did a little bit more research, and I mean, yeah, I found out that Daniel Tompkins was the founder of Tompkinsville, and he's the one who established the ferry, the Staten Island ferry, and this is him right here, and this is the Staten Island ferry in the 18th century. I mean the 17th, the 19th century. Um, we did case studies before, okay. And this is.
I'm going to stop you for 1 second because I know EDC has to jump off. Do you have any questions of the group before you have to leave?
No, I mean, I think even just those different design iterations, options you were showing for the restroom, interesting choices. I mean, it shows you're, putting a lot of interesting thought behind it. I think generally a restroom that's closer to where the activity is probably preferred. So, so something closer, maybe to where you have it now. And it wouldn't block as many views. That location, the one, and also, that's just like a quick read. And also that long stretch of greenery along the bike lane. Maybe you'd want to, have a bench, cut into that greenery in some area that you could, kind of carve a bench into there, maybe if that's a longer stretch. And the fountain, I think, is a nice idea. Maybe just thinking about, is that something you're looking at? Is it more, do you want it in an area where people can gather around it more? I see it next to the bike lane right now, which is totally fine. Thinking about how people, move through it and around it. And then I think of that northern end where you show the city bike and kiosks. Maybe you're kind of expanding the available built platform that's there now, which is fine and a great idea, maybe a way to increase public space. And I think the notion of kiosks is always really interesting, and that's a transition area into the the Lighthouse Museum public space, which is not part of our project area, but maybe there is a nice place to do some synergy there, or like a food truck or something. Don't take that literal idea, but I think you have just interesting nodes here of activity, and it's looking really good. I like it. I like those water steps. They look nice.
Yeah, we actually did a little more research on that. I think Casper did a little more research on the water steps over.
Okay.
So
Tompkinsville, we're gonna have to move on to the Richmond Terrace Esplanade, unfortunately, because we're already 7 minutes over. But hold that, and then if there needs to be another meeting with EDC before the final presentation, maybe we can make something happen along those lines. Okay, would that be possible? Maybe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, happy to jump on a call for 15, 30 minutes.
That'd be great.
Yes, but it's looking really, those graphics are really impressive. So
man, thank you so much.
Yeah,
really appreciate you being here.
Of course, yeah. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, thank you very much, Tompkinsville. Richard Hernandez, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Amazing. Okay, so second to last presentation, we've got Richard Hernandez and the Richmond Terrace Esplanade. That's funny. I never noticed you're rich and it's rich. Rich on rich. Oh, I crack me up like once a year. Okay, Richmond Terrace Esplanade. And Richard Hernandez, why don't you tell us who you're working with?
Okay, so yeah. Hello, I am Richard Hernandez, and with the assistance of Kristen Sanchez, we've been working hard on the Richmond Terrace Esplanade beautification / Catherine Walker Statue Memorial Project, and would like to show you what we've worked on so far. So here's a preview of what I will be going presentation. Just as a reminder, our objective for Richmond Terrace is to beautify the Esplanade and add more activities so that people have a better experience there, and so that we can get more people to come to the Esplanade. Our objective for the Catherine Walker statue is to make sure that people know who she was and what she did by dedicating a statue of her onto the Esplanade. During our last meeting, I mentioned how we would be using a survey to gather feedback from the community, their opinions on the project, and what activities they would like to see implemented into the project.
Oh, Richard Hernandez, you put this into the PowerPoint.
Yeah, well,
it looks beautiful. Okay, great job.
Yeah. So far, since the survey has been out, we've got 7 responses. Some suggestions that were made were to add more lighting so that people would feel more safe when walking in the evening, and the addition of bench swings as well. From the responses I read, I felt like the feedback was really helpful and found their suggestions good as well. I definitely plan on using this information given to me when I'm making decisions on what should go onto the Esplanade.
Great job. Anything else you want to add? Oh, okay. I don't know if you were done.
Okay. One other thing I did to gather feedback from the community was to go on Google Maps and look at the reviews left by different people. I feel like doing this helped me understand what people thought of the Esplanade more and how they used it. For example, most people go to the Esplanade to view the water traffic and also go there on the 4th of July to get a good view of the fireworks. So I believe that the Esplanade should also focus on how we can make their experience better when they go there to sightsee. Here's an aerial view of the existing site. On this slide, you can see the diagram we made that shows all the different additions that we thought could go onto the Esplanade and different variations of each. For statute placement, we thought that it can go in one of two places. For the first spot, we have it near the end/start of the Esplanade because we thought that the empty space there would be a great place to put a statue, and because most people would be able to see it when they enter or exit the Esplanade. For the second spot, we have it towards the middle of the Esplanade because this spot has a lot more open space and because people can have more space to view the statue from all angles. This slide showcases some of the areas in the Esplanade that we thought could use improvement. We noticed that there were a lot of trees that could sometimes block the view of the river, and so we think that trimming some of them could help with making sure that people get the best view that they can. There was a lot of overgrowth as well, which makes Esplanade look unmaintained. So cutting that would also make the Esplanade look better. Finally, there's a sinkhole at the edge of the Esplanade that should be covered up and also have the bent fence fixed. Our next steps for this project will be to start a 2D sketch in AutoCAD so that we can start placing all possible additions to Esplanade to see what works and what doesn't. We will also find a way to implement the feedback and suggestions given to us by the community into the project. Thank you for listening to this presentation, and we hope that you found it informative.
Awesome. Colleen, what comments or questions do you have?
Wow, that's what an update from last time.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, Richard, you're really working hard. I really appreciate it because as you know, I know you're working alone, so I know that's a lot to take on.
Well, actually,
he has help.
Oh, he do? Oh, good. Okay. I thought last. Okay, I'm sorry. Nevertheless, again, great presentation. I really like how you added about the street, the lighting, because you're right, there isn't a lot of lighting over there. So even if someone wants to enjoy it at dusk, that's something to consider. I also liked how you've narrowed down the spots, because I think that's something that I did not guide you on, because honestly, we weren't sure where we wanted to put the statue of Kate Walker. So I like the two areas you picked. One, I liked the more towards like the NYCHA housing, because it's the open space. I think that will bring up a little bit of the cultural value, because you have the waterfront, and then it kind of like input some history, which is what's really what I wanted here. But I also like the middle, because maybe that will kind of be like a focal. So Richard and your team, whatever you guys want to come up with, you picked great spots. I also liked
Colleen, can I just interject? We had a 20-minute conversation yesterday about those two spots, and at first I was like, no, Richard, near Jersey Street, that's the spot. I shall hear no more about it. And then 20 minutes later, I was like, Richard, the middle, That's where it needs to go. I changed my mind so many times for the very reasons that you said. I was so sure it should be closer to NYCHA, Jersey Street area, but then he started to explain why he thought about the middle. I was like, I don't know. So they're both. I can't think of any better spots than those two.
No,
I think they're both great spots that they picked.
Right, and like I said, I think it's great that you narrowed it down because again, you could really do it all over anywhere because it's huge. And then one last thing, like I said, I liked how you took the screenshots of like the what needs improvement, like the overgrown, the grass and the trees, because I think that's something that I mentioned at the beginning that it needs to be beautified. In addition to the Catholic Walker piece, but great job. I'm very looking forward to the 2D sketches. That's something because I would love to see that vision come to life. So thank you, Richard. Really good job.
Yeah. Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any other comments for the Richmond Terrace Esplanade? And one other quick thing, the Richmond Terrace Esplanade and the Tompkinsville Esplanade, I don't know if you knew this, Colleen, but they're going to work together on the bike lane. So they're going to try to combine the overall bike lane to have one bike lane that goes from the Tompkinsville Esplanade through the Richmond Terrace Esplanade and then on the other side. So that's pretty exciting. It came up in the EDC meeting, and the students are kind of taking it and run with it. So that
we need bike. Well, and I think we had this conversation. The bike share at the moment is just not. And so, but I'll like I said, as when I get updates, you'll know, so you can include it in your proposals. I do have to run, but thank you. This was wonderful. I'm looking forward to June 7th.
Thank you. All right. Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. And last but by no means least, we have Lake Como. Now, who is here from Lake Como? I believe Kevin Garcia is here. Kevin Garcia, you might be the only one.
Got it.
I think you are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Kevin Garcia, you have the floor. Are you going to show the mirror board or are you going to show your PowerPoint?
The mirror board.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Go for it.
Yeah, so here's some of the issues we found over at the Lake Como. One of the issues is vehicular traffic, pedestrian behavior, litter, and for the first stage, we had we focused on vehicular traffic, on speeding, and then another thing we focused was on the noise of vehicular traffic, which is one of the issues over at Lake Como where cars have mufflers in which are too loud, but the state passed an issue in which actually helped us out with this issue, which was not to leave the stock mufflers in which come with the vehicles. Here we have different we have the CAD drawings. I'm not sure if you can see it. One of our teammates, Marlon, he worked on these CAD drawings of the area of Lake Como. Sorry for the bad quality of it. We have so many things in this mural board that hasn't loaded in.
You don't say.
We have multiple drawings of it, different bird's eye view of it. Sorry for the rendering again. Yeah. Here we have Google Map visual with some of our drawings of the area of Lake Como. Here we have
Kevin. Maybe you want to do a pan out view of the mirror board just so people understand the volume of what's going on here. So maybe you want to pan out like all the way out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's multiple things. I managed to organize them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wait a minute. Hold on. That was totally different.
Yeah, I managed to organize a lot of stuff.
Wow. Lately. Oh my god. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's amazing. So wait a minute. You put all of these on. What did you do?
Frames. I added each one of them to a frame to.
Okay.
Let's say it's a slide of a presentation, and we're gonna discuss on it.
When did you do this?
This week.
You did? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you walk us through that?
Yeah. Yeah. So this
Why
is
did you do
our.
that? Why did you do that?
Well, I walked through this because at first it was a whole mess. One of our fellow members of Makerspace said "Yikes" once they saw our mural board, which motivated me after seeing his mural board to actually work on it and make it a style of presentation, easier to read, easier to find resources from the research of you can see up here to each and one of the things we're mainly focusing on.
Wow. Kevin, how did you feel when he said "yikes"?
Well, at first I felt the fact that we had a lot of research and a lot of work there, I felt proud of myself. But when he said "yikes," it was true.
Yeah.
It was all over the place, and yeah.
By the way, Kevin, I got to be honest with you. I didn't feel too good about it either when he said that. So I didn't feel too good about myself. He was right. So okay, so
Truth hurts sometimes.
Huh?
The truth hurts sometimes.
The truth does hurt sometimes. And the truth, when you have a hot mess, can hurt. So okay, so how did you organize it? How did you decide on doing it? It looks lovely.
Well, I did first. I found some of the things that didn't need to go on each slide.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
and I put it on research, which mainly has linked different articles we found, different just comments we had on each one of the works. I put it to the side, and yeah, and then for each category we had of each issue, I added. So as I discussed before, the trash issue,
Wow.
the traffic issue,
Wow.
and then the tree and planting in the medium.
Wow.
And then what's gonna happen after? Oh wait, also the different views of the cat views and the different street views, and then what's the AutoCAD design ideas that we have for working on the future terms and coming up this week.
Oh, wait a minute. Can you go back to the CAD? You put all the AutoCAD on one. Wow.
Yeah, so these are the CAD drawings and street views, and these are the CAD ideas and visualizations we're planning to work on.
Wow.
And then here we have we're planning to, after all these issues are resolved, we're planning to, enhancing the nature and social environment of Lake Como.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did that take you to do?
Well, it took a day or two to identify what goes where and where did it go. So, yeah.
Wow. That was a lot of work. You have an area up there called research. Is that where you put all the random sticky notes like mine?
Yeah, the random sticky notes we had, the different links we had, and different articles we found online of the traffic, the trees, all of those sort of things. And then we have, of course, our task manager.
Oh, our task manager is a lot. Why don't you show everybody the task manager?
Yeah, so a good thing about the Lake Como team, I found that we actually use this task manager often to discuss about each and one of our tasks. Mainly, we're able to tag each other, the person who assigned the task, and also after each task is put aside, let's say if this task goes uncompleted, or the person that is tagged in that task gets a notification on their phone or tablet or email that task is done, in progress, or still not worked on. And something great that we recently started using was that we found out, we're new to Mural Board, is that you're able to put a date on each one of the tasks. So lately we started adding dates to the tasks. As you can see. Well, sorry, it's taking so long to render.
That's okay.
Yeah, but I think right here. So we April 19. Let's say you want that task to be done that day, so you can talk about it that week. We're able to add that specific date. And as you can see here, we tag Mr. Gibbons because this was the task Mr. Gibbons gave us. And if we're able to put it on completed, he'll be able to have get a notification that task was completed.
Right. Right. I didn't realize about the date. I've gotten in the habit of tagging them myself too if I put something in, which I think is a great system because then you know who assigned it, the person gets a notification, they know what happens to it. So I actually have myself do that and it's wonderful. I didn't know about the date though. I will start doing that. That's actually very helpful. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, not really, because just yeah.
Okay, so let's do a test of this. So, Kevin, could you get some information for us about trees for the median for the Lake Como project? Would you be able to do that? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So here are some trees that we were assigned to research and what benefits, what effect they may have on Lake Como and different in the streets. So here we have the Carolina Silver Belt, which is a street which has serious no insects, no type of different diseases. It grows about, the medium size grows more about 25 to 50 feet tall. And different things we found about it is that it has a dark yellowish and greenish leaves. But here in this picture, we're able to see it's white because during its blooming season, it turns white, which was one of the colors that I felt was the most intriguing to me. And then we have the Magnolia Tree, which is this one up here. And we found out that this tree, wrong one, this one over here. We found out that this tree is able to turn, have different colors from pink, purple, white, even yellow. Again, this is the one I felt that was most beautiful because during its blooming season, it's pink and bright and it calls its attention. Then we have the flowering crab apple, and here we're able to see this aesthetic tree, and then we're able to see how each leaf is colored during its blooming season. It's white and the leaves are sticking out, which in my opinion, each one of these trees are able to call attention for the lake, the side of Lake Como, especially since Jersey Shore is not too far away, in which can call its attraction to the people. Here we have the Sourwood Tree, which is this tree located over here. This tree is best during this fall season, in which also has more of an orange color tree, and also sometimes it could be a whole year-round tree. It depends on the location it's planted, and it depends on the care. Over here we have the American hop hornbeam tree, and this tree is really intriguing, especially due to its red color and its bright color calls attention of the people, which I found very intriguing. And another thing is that this tree is great around well-drained sites and areas in which also could cover different types of shading in which cars and other locations need. Yeah. So these are the most research we found about all these trees. And then another thing we started researching lately, my partner Jennifer Segundo, she's been researching and working so hard on the medium, working on different ideas for the medium. So she has these images in which she has researched could be beneficial for the street of Lake Como and Main Street. We're able to see how she wants to put different type of chairs and resting spots for this. She's also been researching on different benches we can add to the medium, as you can see here. And another thing, she's researched a lot of flowers. So yeah, I found that very thing of her research on each one of the medium sites. And one of the most also over here we have more research on medium and different here's some different types of style we can add for halfway. So if people are walking by, they don't really have to damage these plants. And the thing is that some of these plants we found out, especially the part of the normal grass, is that they're able to resist pets and different people walking through them. And something that we've been working recently and is still in progress is the enhancing the natural and social environment of Lake Como, which after each one of these issues, we have been proceeding, me and my team and I, on working on different techniques, as we can see here. Lately, we've been working on a survey in which we want to ask the people of Lake Como their opinion on this on this topic, and we were thinking on how this topic may actually affect them during COVID and after the COVID term. So yeah.
Kevin, I have a question for you. When you used to see the mural board, did you look at it and think to yourself, I'd like to do something like this with it? Or did you just kind of think it wasn't really a thing for you to do? The interesting thing is we took Lawrence off of the organizing project, basically because we were gonna kind of like just sort of let it be, but then you organized it anyway. So I'm curious as to, was it something you had wanted to do and then you just thought to yourself, I'm just gonna tackle this?
At first I wanted to do it because personally I thought we were gonna divide it by teammates. So each one, let's say each square should have been one lens, one Jennifer, Williams, and I, and then that's how, like, I personally started working on the right side, not to disturb their items and the things that they had. Okay. So I felt like some sort of organization was needed.
Okay. The last thing I want to say that I want to open it up is the highest compliment I can give somebody that I work with is that something that they do when I'm working with them makes me want to work on the project more and gives me the ability to be able to think about the project in a better way. You have done that. And that's the highest compliment I can give pretty much to anybody in my life, as well as in terms of working, that you have done something here. I'll be honest, when I used to look at the mural board, the only place I would focus would be on the tasks. I would put tasks in, and then I would get out of the mural board as quickly as I could. So I wouldn't really do anything much with the mural board. I would just focus on the task and assigning tasks, and then I would leave. What you've done actually makes me want to use the mural board in a way that can be collaborative. So that's about as high as a compliment as I can give somebody. So I want to thank you for that.
And also I wanted to add on, I forgot the main thing, that currently Lake Como is working each one of the groups with the Esplanade and also working on the bike lane. We're researching a bike lane to use to be able to add this attraction to the area of Lake Como.
Yeah, so I think what you should do is one of the things you might want to think about doing is talking with the Richmond Terrace Esplanade group and the Tompkinsville Esplanade group, because they're doing a bike lane that they're going to connect. There are two separate bike lanes there, and then they got cut off by like a sinkhole and just debris and so forth. It might make sense for you to talk with them, because if Staten Island can figure out the bike sharing program, that might be a sharing program that we can talk to in terms of getting it into Lake Como. That's what we were going to do with the last one, and then that deal fell through with Staten Island. But I'm sure Colleen would be happy to have that conversation with you. And then the other thought would be you can talk to them about how they're going to render their bike lane, and it might be a source of information. So you might want to talk with those two groups if you have a chance.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, beautiful. Outstanding work. Just great job.
Thank you.
Okay, Lake Como. So we're actually at the 5:33 mark. And technically we would like go over to Lake Como's small room, which we can do in a minute. But does anybody have comments for Kevin about the mural board? Because then when we go over to the Lake Como smaller room, we can focus on the PowerPoint and the presentation. But does anybody have any comments on what Kevin has done here?
Yeah, Kevin, this is fantastic. And what I was wondering about what was going to happen with the mural board, because this project is, as you know, and Jennifer and the rest know, that this is not a simple project. There are, about 9 different elements, 9 different mini design projects that you're doing. from dealing with traffic speeding to dealing with litter and planting and all that sort of thing. And so you're actually dealing with 8 or 9 individual mini projects and then putting them together. And what I see with the Mural Board now is you've got those just about all those headings there, and that's the way the project is actually. That's what the project is. It's a bunch of little projects all adding up to a big project, and it's the thing that we call complete streets, where we design everything about a street, not just traffic and so on. So this is brilliant, and you obviously understand the project, and that's great. The other thing is I noticed some new stuff coming out here with these. You guys are finding pictures and ideas of things that can be done, and that's always makes it much richer and it opens people's eyes, and I really appreciate that. And so that was really good. So yeah, so just we'll just carry on and we'll just go for the goal now. I know you have about 4 or 5. You and the rest have 4 or 5 tasks to do to finish it off, and I think there's a good chance of making it happen. So thank you very much. You're doing a great job. You guys are dealing with a very difficult, tricky project, complicated project, and you're really carrying it off. So I'm very, very impressed. And thanks to Miss Butts and Mr. Rodriguez as well, because we've all had an oar in this, and because of the because that it is it's not a simple project. So congratulations, this is fantastic. I think we're going to survive. Well done.
Yeah, exactly. Dr. Weber, do you have any comments?
Yes, I think you guys have done a remarkable amount of research. I mean, I love your ideas of the plants and the trees and the way to design the median. And I just think it's a great project, and you guys have done a lot of great work, and you're really going to help Lake Como once this gets all settled.
Yeah, and one other thing I just wanted to piggyback on what John said is I like to think of myself as somebody who can kind of like come up with, ideas even when it's chaotic and crazy and I got a lot going on and so forth. But, sometimes when there's quiet and organization, you can kind of come up with different thoughts and different ideas. And so I think you have created that for the team, which will be another way to approach it in a very organized manner in terms of our mural board. So let's see what new things come of that.